afternoon. Today is the 28th of February and it's time for yet another not particularly interesting, very vague and probably quite boring vlog. So earlier this week, the video that I recorded in early February about the probable demise of Cazoo went live on the channel, and it's kind of prompted me because I've been filming away for the last couple of days at Langley Prestige near Colchester in Essex, and asking kind of what is the state of the car trade at the moment. Is everything in absolute sort of chaos like Cazoo are, or is it actually, you know, a reasonable time for people who are just traditional used car dealerships? Cazoo is certainly a very controversial topic, and it's very sad to see such a large company that initially was very prominent kind of go under in the way that they seem to be doing. Obviously nothing is confirmed exactly what's going to happen, but with you know, centres closing left, right and centre, and Alex Chesterman himself having actually no longer his position within the company, I don't think that's really a sustainable thing at the moment. What about the traditional retailers? Well, I arrived a couple of days ago down at Langley Prestige's new premises that's near Colchester, which is a bigger premises than the one they used to have in Chelmsford, and then bigger than the previous one we used to have in Chelmsford. And things seem to be going quite well. The amount of passing trade they get has been massively increased by the move, although it was a massive hassle to move like 50 cars, I think, one site to the other. And when I was there, a couple just sort of walked in. If you watch the Car UK channel, which Simon of Langley Prestige actually does as well, you will notice that the site that they have on that channel, the gentleman who runs that channel is called Lee, is also like this. There's a lot of passing trade, and he, I think, has the sort of biggest problem, and when he's not dealing with slightly strange customers, is the fact that he can't get enough stock. Simon and Dale, who do most of the buying and selling at Langley Prestige, were very much, when I was there, kind of engaged in, you know, getting stuff from auctions and, you know, part exchanges and things like that. But they sold the most cars they've ever done in a month, and it's a short month. It's February, so it's a short month. 43 cars, which I just can't believe. I mean, obviously they've got overheads to pay and all that sort of stuff, and, you know, some cars will make a profit, some cars will make a loss. If you watch, you know, Shop's Garage, for example, then you'll know that actually there are lots of overheads to pay and VAT and that kind of stuff, and certain cars cost more to retail than others. But that is amazing. I just don't seem to have such much time. I'm very grateful to be able to go along to places like LSB car sales near Thatcham in Berkshire and Langley Prestige at Colchester, just be able to film so many of their cars. But I think Lee was saying to me as well that he's selling a lot of cars too. They don't quite compete actually in the same segment of the market. Lee very much focuses on cars that are up to £5,000. It's a little bit like Car UK and the car pitch in that way. I think the car pitch is like 3.5 to 4, actually, it's a bit less. But with Simon at Langley Prestige, it's very, very different. They will sell cars for like sometimes £2,000 to £3,000, but their focus is mainly on things for £5,000 to £15,000. And sometimes way more. I think they've got something there it's up for sort of 57,000 at the moment. So, you know, that sort of thing seems to be going quite well. Obviously, it's very, very hard work. I think they both work 6 day weeks. Simon said, "Oh, I haven't had any lunch today," and I said, "Can I go and get you a sandwich?" So, you know, it's hard work. It's not like, you know, you don't necessarily just make money by sitting there. They work hard for it, and if you watch these channels, it is reflective of what goes on. You know, they work sort of hard trying to get stock and things like that. Another one would be Shifting Metal. A gentleman called Joe, based down at Birmingham-on-Sea, which is near West-Supermare. Again, you know, I think the sort of solidarity between these second-hand car dealers is the issues that they have. You know, customers with problems with the cars and things like that. They're all sort of similar, and they do all have some sort of funny tastes. One thing I found when I went over to Langley Prestige this time was the 1995 Honda Civic that I filmed for No Budget Reviews on one of my very first trips to Langley Prestige, if not the first trip. And in that video, you actually see the first site that he had, which was tiny. I think he had like 12 or 15 cars on that site. And, you know, this one is so much bigger. I think he has like 50 plus cars in stock and something like that. And one of the cars I reviewed when I was there, it wasn't even listed on the website. They hadn't had time to list it, but I saw it there and had a go in it, which was nice of them to let me. But yeah, the Civic, it was there. It's a really nostalgic thing for me. That car was filmed within the first year of No Budget Reviews, and EG4 Civics are far more valuable than they were. Like, I'm not sure I could film an episode of No Budget Reviews these days with an EG Civic anymore. Obviously the EG6 is the one people want. There's EG4, but it's largely rust-free. I mean, it needs recommissioning now and a good clean and an MOT and some work, but I wouldn't be surprised at some point when he gets round to it that actually that car goes up for sale and somebody buys it, because that's the sort of thing that, you know, you and I probably are interested in. More of the older stuff. You know, the sensible second-hand reviews, condition review stuff is also interesting to me, and that's sort of the bread and butter of what they tend to sell. But seeing that kind of stuff around again is exciting. But yeah, it's not all doom and gloom in the car trade. It's just the sort of retailers that are about, like Cazoo. There was another one actually that I heard of when I was there. There was a lady I met who had a problem with the car that she now had, because she bought it in 2020 and didn't be able to see it. There were lots of problems with it. I think it was a site that now is part of Cinch. I can't remember the name of it exactly, but like I said this before many times, people want to actually see the car for themselves, sit in the car and drive the car, and, you know, if they're passing by this big new site Langley Prestige have, or, you know, the car pitch or High Peak Autos or whatever it is, then actually sometimes they just take a look and see, you know, the cars are up for that much, can we get one? But a couple that came in when I was there, just on the first day, and they said, "Oh, noticed you've got a car for sale." They said, "No, I'm sorry, I've sold that one." But they wanted exactly the same as well as that. He was sort of struggling to find one in some sort of system that he has to, you know, get stock. I couldn't believe that's like the most old-fashioned way of sort of selling cars. It's not even like looking at the paper and things like that we used to do back in the days. Literally just somebody walking by and you know, having seen something and wanting it, which is, maybe that's the way things are going, back to the good old-fashioned ways of doing things, although an internet presence, of course, is still exceptionally important. And, you know, that's probably still how a lot of sales are made. I don't know whether Simon's had more trade since I started filming a lot there. I actually filmed 35 to 36 cars at Langley Prestige just last year. which is crazy. He handles a lot more stock than someone like Lee does at LSB, so I can't go to LSB quite as often because the turnover of stock isn't quite there. Maybe in the future they will get some more stuff and I'll be able to go there, you know, a little bit more frequently. But the thing is that there's just a bit more there for me to do when I go to see Simon & Langley Prestige, because the stock turnover with 50 plus cars is immense, and obviously because it's a fair distance from where I live, so I have to think about so this is a bit more carefully, so I tend to plan the trips a bit. But it seems that, you know, it is stressful going to get everything done, trying to sort of find good stock to sell continues to be a problem for a lot of people. But the state of the used car market at the moment, prices in certain cars are still quite high. Some of them should be relative bargains as far as I can see. But it's all about what's in demand and what isn't. But there we are. I don't know if that's of interest to you particularly. I find that sort of thing quite interesting myself, but maybe you don't. Anyway, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, and if you haven't done so already, wonderful if you could subscribe, and we shall see you again soon for more incredibly vague and very boring news.